They rock the Nashville network. That Beagle's cracking them up in the background. It is racing at Atlanta. It is racing at Talladega. Never turn right. Go, baby, go. Don't you curse tonight. As a Brady, the boss man is lessening. Oh dear, let's go racing. Coding up with all the graphics. Jeff Merck pulling all the facial.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the NASRA 360 Racing Network, Monday night, May 19th, and race number 2 of the playoffs for season number 5. Tonight is the Brickyard 200 at the Chicagoland Speedway. And, of course, we are under the lights. It should be a good one. We're ready to roll. I'll be riding solo, with the exception of when producer, director, color analyst Dean Hopton, Dean Biggles, wants to jump in. But obviously our regular trio of guys like Jacob Reeves or Morgan Cook were not available. So we'll be on the call, we'll make it work, and we will have fun. Weather conditions on the bottom right, there it is. 7 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius if you are the from the Fahrenheit Celsius level. There was a wind speed of 7 miles an hour from the northeast. And clear conditions as we get you ready to go for the starting lineup of the Brickyard 220. My apologies, it's the Brickyard 220 here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. Let's take a look at, again, that starting lineup. On the pole, Matt Cherry in the number 54 to his outside. Alabama's Jonathan Cofield in the 58. Row 2 will find Darren Bruce and Cole Hendrickson. Row 3 will be Phil Pappas and Dan Hagan. Kerry Tribune, Andrew Harris, Bo Tiffany, Brady LaBeouf, your top 10. Season 2 champion of the 24. Lucas Lyons and Cole Larson make up the first 6 rows of the top 12. Rest of the lineup will find the Spice Man, Chris Cinnamon, Season 3 champion, along with Raul Mezup, Stephen Page, Tom Lester, Adam Newton, Colton Hogan, Joey Stiers, Joshua Suss, your top 20. Taylor Peacock, Luke Smith Kermit, followed by Nate Maurer, Tyler Goodwin, the top 24. Then it's going to be Chad Ross, Lee Bailey III, J.D. Larson, and Cody Knott from California. Jason Morell is going to see him back racing again, along with Roger Diebold. Craig Schroeder in the Scooters racing entry, along with Justin Lumpkin for Swim. Chris Blanchard, Stephen Gregory, Jeffrey Johnson, Robert Richards, your top 36. And the rest of the lineup will find James Kaufman and Stephen Thomas. TJ Moore is race director in race control, and we're about ready to get this going here in about another lap or so. The Brickyard 220. And Dean, I emphasize on this is also a playoff race.
Yes, sir. Welcome, everybody. Wesley, there it is at the moment. So Cody Knott has kindly given us a bracket, how the system works out, of course. You're battling, as you can explain that one, I'll let to us there, Wesley, the voice of NASRA. But I've coloured this. It might look like you've just gone to a children's playground, but that's just a kind of elaborate to each of the drivers that'll be battling in each of their groups. Now, Wes, how's that format pan out?
Well, again, as I said, we'd like to welcome all of y'all to the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series and the playoffs, and this is round number 2 of the first round, and obviously you see the color codes of all of the 4 drivers in the 6 different brackets. Now, the best way to describe it is you're racing amongst the 4 drivers that are currently in your bracket. You're seeing it. It's kind of like group qualifying, group heat racing into your features, like on the dirt racing world. So basically, if you're looking at red, Cole Hendrickson is right now leading over Brady LaBeouf and Tom Lester. Justin Lumpkin is not out of it, but he currently is on the outside looking in as the 4th driver. Those drivers are in red. In blue is Lyons leading, white is Cofield, green is Cherry, yellow is Peacock, and a lock already, Joey Stiers is going to the next round, but there's still 2 more spots up for grabs in the orange. They're coming to green. I'll explain it a lot more clearly to you, as right now we are ready to roll. Chicagoland, round number 2, playoffs, DSR Electric Truck Series, and the Brickyard 220 is underway. You also noticed on the scoring ticker the color codes of the drivers that are in their respective, if you will, class that they're running in. And that's something that obviously Dean has created to make it more simpler for myself and the audience to know where they are. But as they work off of turn 4 to complete the opening lap, it's going to be Bruce on the inside, Cherry up top. Give Bruce a little help from the 10 of Hendrickson, and he'll lead lap number 1. 220 miles, 147 laps. And there you see the details of tonight's race as we are in stage number 1. That's supposed to be some crazy off-the-wall number. Lap 37 will be the first stage. However, unless there's a caution on its own, we will stay green and move into Glass Mechanics stage 2. And Dean, right now, it is Bruce in front, but they are all fishtailed side by side. Now single file for a moment. Now they get back door to door again, going into the corner. I mean, take your pick. This is a awesome racetrack here at the 1.5 miles of Chicagoland Speedway.
Oh, sweet home, Chicago. Absolutely, a good, fantastic track. Fantastic for iRacing, fantastic usually for the audience, and for at least for broadcasting as well. So I'm joining you in Chicago. Wesley, yeah, exactly. We're probably going the fractions at the moment, isn't it, with a stage break, and of course the overall race being 147. But so far, so good. The only do apologise. The yellow and the orange are very hard to determine on the tower. That'll be corrected for next week.
And again, as I mentioned, basically the best way to keep up track of this is just kind of, look at the color codes. We'll bring up the bracket a time or two. But the honest thing is in this first round and on into the championship 6, you're racing the people that you have in your bracket. The bottom line is this. You're racing the 4 drivers in the bracket for the opening series. And honestly, Dean, you just got to be better than them. Bottom line, you just got to be better. And if you win like Joey Stiers did last week, you automatically advance to the second round of the championship. He's already in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. When you win, you're in. But just look at that timing tower, and basically by the end of the race, if you're in the red group, for example, like Cole is at the moment, and LaBeouf, you can see there, and then you go with the other 2 reds that are down there. You got Lumpkin in 29th place, and then you also has, because we have a stacked up grid, of course, so it has to scroll through, but there's one more driver, of course, which is Lester. So at the moment, obviously, the one that's looking out is the one that was right down the bottom, which is Lumpkin, but that's only the early stages right now. Let's not worry about that. We're still in stage 1. And by the way,
we're still in the early stages of this race. Yeah, go ahead.
The drivers that are in the regular dark black colours at the background there, they're not in the playoffs. They're just in this race to contribute to numbers, of course, and perhaps help their teammates.
There you go. So there's something to think about for sure as we continue to watch this transpire in the early opening laps of this one here. It is Bruce in the early lead. Wow, Cinnamon almost tagged the wall there a moment ago. Yeah. Changing up his colors a little bit, more like a bronze color, if you will, than the orange for the Spice Man.
It's spicy, isn't it, to go with the bronzish look, as you can see somebody else hitting the fence up the wall there at the moment. That might have been Raul Mesa, and you can't miss the green machine there of Raul. So that's interesting too, Wesley. It's 8 of 37. We're going to get through this stage break pretty quickly. I don't expect them to come down unless there's a caution. What do you think?
Yeah, I really don't either. I think it's probably going to be until the second stage whenever we finally see some guys peel onto the pit lane. I mean, 37 laps, I think it'll be very easy to operate on your package for the first stage of the races. Right now, we're on board with Adam Newton, following Cinnamon, trying to get around California's Raul Meza in that Serve Pro 37 Chevrolet down on the inside. They work their way again back off the corner. Look at the 5 of Hogan down to the bottom. Another lap on the board here, closing in on 10 laps complete in this one, getting things started.
3 wide, Wesley. Early days on that one. Whoa, you can see up the top side, that's Newton. Meza in the middle is tucked in behind there wisely and said, okay, gentlemen, probably a little too early trying to make a little risk move there because the side drafts can start kicking in. I think Adam Newton's also sporting something new on his bonnet there as well, too, guys. As you can see, he's got it looks like a charity organisation. So catch up on a little bit later. But up at the business end of this race at the moment, still Darren Bruce and Cole chasing him down P2.
How about this? Jonathan Cofield already out of the race. I don't know if you caught that or not, but on the scoring ticker, Cofield is already out of it. That's a very big surprise. Currently in the 38th position.
Yes,
3 laps down. He came down to the pit lane. He already calls it quits. That is a surprise for Cofield, as right now Bruce is leading, but Cole Henriksen right there behind him. And, you know, you kind of mentioned guys that are got the black. They're not in the playoffs, but man, they want to win. They want to make some noise. And that's exactly what we're seeing guys like Darren Bruce do in his Toyota leading right now.
Who would not want to win a race? You're still battling it out, even if you're not in the playoffs, with another 37 odd drivers on here with Cofield. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Cofield as well, too, Wesley, because he's one of those championship contenders. So he's going to see whether or not he has enough points to potentially get through, because also there are points, and we'll show that bracket up very soon as well too, because we want to keep an eye on this battle that's brewing up here around Dane Hagen, Brady LaBeouf, Kerry Tribute, and Mr. Tiffany.
Look at Bo Tiffany down there on the inside, right there, just kind of holding his line, staying in position. Another lap on the board now, lap 13 of 147. That's 220 miles here tonight in the Brickyard. 220 at Chicagoland. Down to the inside goes now Dane Hagen, battling with Cherry. Cherry up high. Here comes Brady LaBeouf in the middle lane. In the 24, down low. Kerry Tribute will follow. Instead, they try to throw haymakers at one another, and they're trying to now throw blocks from the top to the bottom and the back and forth again as they work back into turn number 1, Dean. Take your pick. Wow.
Yeah. It's high side, low side. Obviously, at the end of the day, that they're going to start going closer and closer to that fence as those tyres start to wear off. Look at that inside line there for Kerry, side by side with the boss man Brady, who's going to commit it on the inside. Once again, you're going to chew through those tyres going up on the inside, then you go straight up into that fence there. Luckily, you slots in right between the other drivers. That goes to show you the precision that they do. And you've got to remember inside that cockpit too, Wesley, they don't see a lot. That's what you see as a driver. You might see your mirrors, but that's it. You're relying on your spotter to say if you're clear or not.
Coming off of that crazy race at Daytona last, of course, Monday night. Always Daytona's a wild card. We've always said that, and of course that was the race that Joey Stiers won. Yeah. Joey Stiers again advancing into the next level. So
see all the ribbons that are on the back there of Adam Newton, the Bulldogs truck. We'll see if we can get a good little look at that later on. However, Cole,
it's something about autism, I believe.
Yeah,
looks like it's something about autism.
I think that's right. So 147 laps, 37 laps for our first stage, 78 laps for our second stage, and then 32 laps to bring our final stage of tonight's race here. It's going to be a bit of a cracker so far. A good one so far, I have to say, touch wood. I don't want to have to say the C word. Of course, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, there. Very true.
and on top of it, Wesley, we are going to stay green as well for our stage break, actually.
That's right.
I've got 2 buttons to press, Wesley. So we'll stay green, but we assume, as Andrew Harris has a little lick into the fence, we assume at some point they're not going to make it to stage 2 without a pit stop.
No, I mean, you look at fuel capacity at 65%, so I'm thinking roughly about 45, 50 laps on the tank of fuel. So if we do stay green and move into the second stage, which is coming up in about 20 laps or so, then maybe around lap 50, 55, I think we'll start to see guys punching it if we do not get a caution and they come down to the pit lane. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and like our Monday night coverage. NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series. Hey, by the way, I was told that, we're getting closer and closer to finalizing the deals for Tuesday, Wednesday. ARCA on Thursday and Friday. Obviously, the Cops Truck Series. And don't forget about this one around the Oval coming up Friday night, Charlotte. I'll be with you for that race. Next Monday night, DSR Trucks at Michigan. That'll be the final race to the opening round of the playoffs as well.
I like that new graphic that Cody has thrown up there for around the Oval, of course, yeah. And hopefully we'll have a few more kicking up as well, too. Because remember, we used to do this almost every night of the week here on the NASRA Network. At the moment, we're just doing the Mondays and Fridays. But, of course, the big event, we said, be coming up, the big Indy 500, potentially as well. And Charlotte, right, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, looking forward to it, my friend. It's going to be a fun Sunday, June the 8th. I'll be here with you on the call as the voice of NASRA, along with my buddy, the Redneck announcer, Jacob Reeves. Dean's going to be in the production chair. 500 miles open wheel Indy cars at the Brickyard, the world's greatest race course, of course, the greatest virtual spectacle of racing, our NASRA Hoosier 500, and then the 87 Cup cars from back in the day of NASCAR will be on the docket in the afternoon on that same day for the NASRA 1100, and that will be the NASRA World 600. There you go. And they're working on finalizing details and sponsors. And I talked to Cody Knott the other day, Saturday night, as a matter of fact, Dean, and he already said we got close to 30 Indy cars pre-registered and close to 25 or so 87 Cup cars already signed in. So that's going to be fun. And I'll tell you something else I'm really looking forward to, Dean, is the knockout qualifying for the Indy 500, just like yesterday when it was so pressure for Renus VK and the intensity with Craig Abel and those guys fighting it out for that last starting spot for the 109th run into the 500. That is this Sunday, by the way. We'll have that same, I believe, intensity for the NASRA Hoosier 500. We'll have qualifying. Only 33 will take the green.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. You know, going into open wheel as well, too. It's about the closest we're going to get to Formula One for me. But, of course, those cars, scraping the fence there, isn't it, Phil? Really just sliding the rear end of the truck. Buy that fence some flowers, my friend. Take it out for a nice dinner. Pit stops for early. Chris Cinnamon heading in. Oh, there's caution.
We got a caution as well. Trouble in the tri-oval.
It's Tom Lester.
Cinnamon coming down pit road. We got Joshua Suss, Tom Lester, involved in an incident in turn 4 on the tri-oval.
Has this been
there they are.
Pit stop there for Chris, do you think? He came in just before it was called. We'll go back and have a look.
I mean, he's able to pit with no problem. Should be able to stand. Watch this. Watch the replay. The 6 and the 80.
There.
Into the left rear. Wow. Like he just drifted up and tagged him. Both trucks spinning in unison like acrobatics. And then you see, well, all that went on. The 3 of Cinnamon on pit road, taking advantage, I believe, of this opportunity. He's going to come back out as the leader if the other guys decide to pit.
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll do that, though. That's the question.
That is interesting, isn't it, Wesley? Because you've got to think about it. How many more laps do we have to go? Well, give or take about 10, don't we? And we're really going to have about 9 of those because it's going to take a couple laps to sort itself out. Interesting call that Cole and the front has to make. Now, once again, if he's going to go in, he will. Who will follow him in? Just about everybody there, Wes.
And licking his chops is going to be Chris Cinnamon.
Yep. He's going to come from essentially last place to first place right now. There he goes in the background. He's going to be laughing.
From
How could
36
you couldn't have predicted
to
it any
first.
better, Wes. And I think it's time for us to take a break as well, my friend.
From 36 to first, Joshua Suss looks like he stayed out. He'll be showed as the new leader. We'll see when Chris Cinnamon pops up on our scoring pylon, and that'll let us step away and take a break when we sort this out when we come back from Chicagoland.
for Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Back here in Chicagoland, and Darren Bruce is going to be now the new leader when everything re-racks and reshuffles. Cole Hendrickson alongside. Andrew Harris, Matt Cherry, Dan Hagan, the new top 5. One serve pro caution for 3 laps as the lights are off on the pace truck. It'll come back down to the pit lane here, Dean, and we'll get ready for a restart with about less than 10 remaining in the first stage. But remember, the plan is to stay green to stage number 2.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, Wesley, we're going to be going green. Interesting, because we were kind of talking in the green room during our fantastic sponsor break about the fact that Chris Zinnerman didn't. Must have been a penalty or something like that, because he's back in P36 at the moment there, Wes. It should have worked out for him, shouldn't it? At the end of the
Yeah, I
day?
wonder if he got busted with a penalty or something. We're going to definitely work behind the scenes to check and see if we can get any details on it. But nonetheless, right now, pace truck will dive onto the pit lane. Field makes their way back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're back to racing again here in the Brickyard 220 with about 7 laps remaining in the first stage. Remember, they get, or actually 8 laps remaining. When they get to that stage 2, there will not be a caution unless something happens on the track. And right now, you better shuffle, juck, and jive quickly to get into those top 10 spots. Because yes, even though it's the playoffs, stage points are on the line and they're 3 wide.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. This is the first time where I remember Wesley since the start of the race that everybody's been up elbows to elbows. And you expect it's going to be a little bit antsy. Sometimes I say cautions breed cautions. There is a strong possibility that it may happen while everybody's shuffling out. But more so with the urgency, knowing the stage break points are up for grabs in 7 laps.
Thundering down into turn number 2 to the back straightaway here in Chicagoland. And now they're back to the front stretch again. That's how fast they're turning laps around the 1.5 miles. Matt Cherry down to the inside, throws the block on Harris. Hendrickson protects that lane. And behind them, we're about to get 3 wide again, or at least they'll try to shuffle from the top to the bottom. Watch Hagan, watch Tribune in the middle, and we're wrecking in the back. Trouble in turn number 2. Back straight away.
Looks like Kaufman and somebody else is around as well. Is that Bruce? That's Darren Bruce.
That's Darren Bruce and James Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yes. Tossed it out. Second one presented by Surf Pro. Here's your Pulse Popper instant replay. Watch the 25 and the 05. Craig Schroeder to the side of the left rear. Got Bruce loose in the corner. Nowhere to go for James Kaufman. He's along for the ride.
Yeah, Bruce on his own, actually, it looks like. We'll go back and have a look at Mr. Bruce himself. That's very unfortunate for the 05. But it was, remember, too, that Bruce is not in this championship hunt. So at the end of the day, he has nothing to lose apart from the fact that, pride, my friend, because, he was potentially right up front there. But let's have a look at where he's lost it here. Oh, this contact, whoops, it wasn't just on his own. Looks like a little tap from the 56, Wes. To get a better
look at it again.
Angle here. Yeah, let's see if there's a slight bit of contact caused. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? But you got to say, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. It just seemed that truck, the blue truck that was going a little bit quick there, as soon as it went by his side, he went around. So there's obviously something that occurred there.
Chicagoland Speedway again under the yellow flag for the second time. Guys are coming down pit road again. So we're closing in on 5 remaining in stage number 1.
I wonder, Wesley, if that's a strategy call right now for those drivers, knowing that they can stay out, perhaps, because we do have a lot of these drivers that we did say all came down, of course, to pit road. I'm not seeing why. Yep, they all came down to pit road. But these are potentially a little extra stop for these other drivers so they can go deeper into stage 2.
Right. Yeah, I think you're exactly correct. Chicagoland Speedway is a 1.5 mile, 2.414 kilometer D-shaped tri-oval track nestled in Joliet, Illinois. Unactive at this time, except on iRacing. The turns have 18 degrees of banking. The front stretch has 11 degrees, and the back stretch has 5 degrees. What's so unique about the racetrack is you see the bracket again. The back stretch, Dean Hopton, I don't know if you knew this or not, is a continuous curve, unlike most intermediate oval tracks.
Yes, I
Take
do know
a look
it from
at
the
that
track map
yeah.
that I have in front of me, the big track map. And I see that, I go, I'm looking and my camera is saying back stretch. Of course, it is a back stretch, but it's not straight. At least it doesn't say
No,
back
it's
straight.
it's a continuous curve.
Yes.
Not like a straight and then a turn. It's a straight curve. It's a curve all the way down the back straightaway. Always turning, it seems like.
Or is it flat?
Oh yeah, there's about 5 degrees of banking on the back straightaway. Yeah.
So this is essentially just an oval. Well, do you want big oval, not like
for the most part,
rectangle tracks that we have at like Talladega, Indy, stuff like that.
I wish that that NASCAR and the other levels of racing, IndyCar, whatnot, would bring back Chicagoland again. I mean, that was an awesome racetrack in my opinion. I thought it was cool. Of course, now Chicago advertises the Chicago Street Race in downtown Grand Park Avenue.
Well, there you go. There's the championship drivers in the bubble again. We're getting ready to go green flag for the sprint, my friend, to the end of stage 1.
Remember that bracket, the guy in green, actually, Matt Cherry, leading the top of that green bracket as well over Diebold and Pappas. Back underway, green flag here in Chicagoland. We're still in the first stage. That'll go all the way to lap 37. The plan is to stay green and move into Glass Mechanic Stage 2. Maybe after this premature caution before the end of the stage, we might see that be a reality. Nonetheless, Cherry leads him in the corner in a 3 and 4. He's got Harris on the inside. Hendrickson, Trabue, Hagan, they might go 3 wide at the bottom of the apron as they work into turn number 1. And they scatter down into the turn, up the banking again, and Cherry under attack for the lead as they are right there docile behind him.
Yeah, big couple in the middle there, but Cherry's just got to be focusing on Andrew Harris behind him. All those drivers, of course, Cherry's happy in his group, he's up there. Harris is happy in his group, he's up there, that's the blue group. Henderson in the green, and then Tribute and Larson, of course, they're either in yellow or orange. Once again, apologise, those colours are very similar. But Matt Cherry, with essentially 1 to go on this one. Let's see if we can hold off Andrew Harris.
Final lap here of stage number 1. Cherry in the lead, up in front, leading the way.
Here comes Harris.
Staying in that position.
Now you got to remember.
Look at Harris now, though. Yeah, here he comes.
Well, he doesn't have to win the stage broke, of course. It just has to really, at the end of the day, finish ahead of the other drivers that are in his colour group. So you don't have to be going too crazy. A race win, of course, will lock you in. That'll be the one, of course, at the end of stage 3 that you want to do it. But at the moment, looks like Andrew Harris might have the nose, but the outside lane of Cherry now could end up scooting past both of them here, Wesley. But we shall see. Flagman's coming up pretty close, pretty quickly.
Here they come. By the way, this is Glass Mechanic stage number 2 officially, as they just wrapped up the stage. Harris and Cherry now side by side along for the ride.
Yeah, remember we stayed.
Cherry battles back up top. Yes, sir. This will take us to lap number 78 for stage number 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. Here comes Cherry inside of Harris. And they're still side by side. And while that goes on, a 2-truck tandem is about to brew between Trabue and Hendrickson. And while that goes on, Larson's watching along, trying to throw off the blocks on Hagan as they hit the back straightaway again.
Yeah, we started to sort ourselves out 2 by 2 again after the restart situation that they had a little bit earlier. Now they're going to be going all out for the stage 2, the Glass Mechanic stage 2. I'm just the chat's really quiet out here tonight, there, Wesley. You kind of feel
crickets, guys, in the chat box. Yeah,
like, we wouldn't even know. People wouldn't even tell us.
We're not muted. I see the closed captioning popping on when we're talking. But if you're in the chat box, everybody, let us know. How was your weekend? You getting ready for Memorial Day? What you got going on Memorial Day? And obviously, what you think of this race right now as Harris and Cherry battle side by side for the lead up the high side into 3 and 4. Tribune now watches along in the 7 on the outside. And Hendrickson creeping on the bottom, along with Larson ready to pounce on those 4 going to the corner into 1.
Yeah, got to take it easy there, gentlemen. That's long stage break as well, too, on this one. So, and that's potentially with some pit stops coming up again as well, too. We're not quite sure if they're going to be able to just roll it all the way through, straight through, Wes, or if they're going to have to hit down the pit road again. There's always a caution looming in the background.
Down to the inside, Harris tries to make a run on Cherry again.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh, there it is.
And we got a caution.
I can't see for who is. It looks like a very slow number 9, Chris Blanchard. Yes, it is there, Wes. Blanchard's also on the outside looking in, so he needs maximum points here this evening.
Yeah, you know, sometimes that, Brady always talks smack about Chris Blanchard. Chris Blanchard and his friend. And there's a replay. It looked like Joshua Sussin on the left rear of a 9. A little contact maybe with Smith Schroeder. Craig Schroeder getting by there. And the Clinton Main number 9, and Chris Blanchard, the only guy involved in that incident. For our caution out again here.
This is the 3 wide, isn't it? And that ends up becoming a little bit shenanigans. This Spiceman behind him. Oh, yeah, he's just turned in a little bit to the left, hasn't he, of the number 80 of Joshua Suss. Gets a rebound off him like a pinball machine. Comes up. Wow. Almost takes out the other driver, that truck. And there you go. So, but don't worry about it, Mr. Chris Blanchard. You have a fantastic towing and recovery services to get that car patched up. But he doesn't have to. I don't think there's too much damage, but I'll tell you, Wesley, we do have drivers heading down a pit road.
Yeah, pit stops are happening here. Another 4 tires and fuel for guys coming down onto the pit lane. And you know what? Honestly, I figured that this would be about the time that we would see that happen. We'd see guys pit around this time.
Well, once again, we've seen some fantastic racing where we haven't had that many cautions early. So these drivers are going to take that opportunity to splash and dash, really, at the end of the day. But there was one driver that didn't. That's Cole Larson. Cole's just stayed out on that one. He did pit back on lap 26, but he's elected to get that track position, get 11 positions gain there, and stay out front. But whether or not those tyres will hurt you as well. But actually, just looking at the recent pit stops for most drivers there, Wesley, it's only about a 6-second stationary pit stop, which to me means they didn't take tyres. But Cole Larson's last pit stop was 14 to 15 seconds, which indicates to me he did take tyres. And they have 6 sets available for them in the pit lane right there. Well, 5 really, because you're going to have to start with tyres, right? Wes? You can't have the car up on jacks when you're racing. So that's what's available to them. And This track is a bit of a tyre chewer, isn't it? Tyre burner, 4 stickies burner, as Wesley would say. I mean, Jacob would say.
Abrasive. It's an abrasive racetrack. Yes, it is abrasive, and it is bad on tires for sure. So for sure, that is something that we will certainly keep an eye on as we see more and more drivers come down to the pit lane. We haven't hit lap 50 yet. So caution lights are down. Larson now the new leader in the Mountain Dew Chevrolet number 20. There's your race recap so far of the opening close to 50 laps. Closing in on 100 laps to go here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, just
and there's the bracket.
Yeah, so Larson is in the yellow, so it's a bit orange.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I couldn't get my color codes right in time for the race there, but You can see that, and then you go to Kerry Tribute. That's in the same group, but remember, he's the one in the red, so he needs maximum points, if not a race win, to secure.
Yeah, so
himself
Kerry
through.
Tribute right now would be the first driver that would be eliminated at the end of the next round, which will be next week. But the question is, he can get back in it, right? I mean,
Yes.
you know, and you look at a guy like Joey Stiers, he's got a lock. He's already advanced to the quarterfinals, and the reason why is because he won Daytona last week. Now, Stiers is in. Bo Tiffany is the fourth man out, like Kerry Tribute or Cody Knott or Lumpkin or Blanchard or Godwin, if you're looking at, or Goodwin, if you're looking at all the other brackets. But here's the deal. They might be in the red right now, Jacob, but if they have a good race, if they have a good race team, if they have a good race, if they win the race and they're in the red, you automatically go into the lock to the semifinal round.
This is why it's exactly right to be out there racing, because even if you're looking out going, oh, I'm not going to get enough points unless I win both stages or something like that, and then depending on everybody else around you in your group, if they have a bad day, then you might have a shot. But you always got to think at the end of the day, as there's a little bit of door banging occurring right now between the 54 and the 20, but you got to still think at the end of the day, if push comes to shove, I win that race, I get in anyway. So you're never really eliminated at all until, of course, the race is over.
You're right.
And then you do your math at the end of the day to start working out the points. Oh, that's very loose at the moment for Matt Cherry. Hold on to it, son. The stage 1 winner trying to do his absolute best here in the stage 2 to keep it alive, presented by the Glass Mechanic.
Down into the corner and look behind him. We're 3x3 again. And this racetrack is just, well, they're in the grass. They're in the grass. Hold on, Hogan. Hold on, Hogan. Keep it together, Hogan. Oh, look at him spinning in the back, though.
Yeah, that's going to cause a kerfuffle behind. I figured that. This is going out on the track and people having to chicken foot it.
That's Justin Lumpkin, by the way.
Yeah.
That's Justin Lumpkin, by the way. Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's Justin Lumpkin. That's also looking in, I believe, on this championship standings as well, too, for the playoffs. So he needs maximum points. But then again, it's early days, Wes. You've still got 98 laps to go. You're certainly not out of this one just yet. Let's have a look.
Replay coming up. Watch it. Look at the 18 Lumpkin already sideways. We were also watching Colton Hogan in the grass. Gotta wonder if there was some contact there. Oh, yeah, there it was. Look at Diebold in the 14. Richards up high. Trips up in front of the front bow of him. Then the orange truck and Richards get together. Hogan goes in the grass. And then Adam Ross there, or Chad Ross, with a little bump in his Chevrolet to Lumpkin.
Yeah.
Morales wheezes by, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
around goes the 18.
So no problem with Justin. Well, no fault of Justin Lumpkin there. It's just because they're reacting at the moment. So it's a little lift from the drivers, as you'd imagine, because you're seeing a wreck up the front there. Both have lifted. The truck up the road lifted. Just unfortunately, the 39 didn't react as quickly to that situation, and then unfortunately, Justin did his absolute best to hold on to it, but you get onto that grass and the opposite lock and the momentum of the truck spinning you around, there's just nothing you can do. It goes in the inside apron. But thankfully, I'd say, Wesley, probably no damage. But we are seeing more drivers come down a pit road now, take advantage of the caution.
Oh, no, Chad Ross did crunkle up the back of the tailgate of the 18 of Lumpkin, so he does have a little being in.
Might smash a couple of moonshine bottles, mate. That's probably about the worst, isn't it? He's running the back of the truck there.
Drivers are pitting, and they're exiting, or as my friend Dean calls it, boxing. They're boxing in, boxing out.
Ding, 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 ding. They're going down and have a bit of a box with Skippy the kangaroo. I'll be waiting for him. I think it's time.
Tanner Kaufman is cheering on the 25 of, obviously, Goodwin. Looks like that. Hello. Thank you, Tanner. BK Carnes says, G-Day, guys. Good day, guys. The voice of Aussie eNASCAR. I know that voice. Hope y'all are well.
Oh,
there you go.
Very much.
So you're the voice of Aussie eNASCAR.
It's G'day, mate, too, not G-Day, Wesley. It's G'day. You got to do the
Well, he just says G-Day, guys. G-Day, guys. So I thought it was abbreviated for Good Day, guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll say G'day to our fantastic sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Online racing with the North American Simulation Racing Association feature.
Yeah. Veggie Mite sandwich for me when we come back from the end of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Oh. Lights off are in the pace truck. Lights off on the pace vehicle. We're getting ready to come back for a green flag. Here's a look at a race recap so far. 52 of 147 laps. Hey, by the way, we are under 100 laps to go. 95 to be exact when they come back to the Geico restart zone. Don't forget, Friday night, Cops Truck Series at Charlotte. I'll be in the booth with you for that one. Friday night.
Green, green, green.
Should be a good one. Coming to green. On the road to the Nazareth 1100 on Sunday, June the 8th. You can get signed up for that. Dean, do you have the graphic for that?
No, not yet, sir.
Oh.
We'll get it next week for you, though, Wes.
We're back underway. Rip, roar, rumble. At full song.
Yeah, Cole's checked out at the moment up the road at least, but Bo Tiffany, Kerry. Taylor Peacock, how's that? Mr. Peacock's up 17 places currently at the moment through this field there for the, I like the number 1, isn't it, on the 81. Looks like an eye. It's not bad. But that's the new graphics that we have here in the NASRA network, which basically show you the what the font is. It's on the side of the truck, of course, for the racing numbers. How's this too? Steve,
Yeah, I really like it. I think it looks really cool.
30 positions gained at the moment for the middle of the field. Whoa, caution again, Wes. I think that's a big one too. That's a lot
Another
of
yellow
trucks.
flag. Caution's out again. Watch this.
Nate Morrow was involved. Maybe Stephen Page. I know that it was a fairly big one because the frames dropped a little bit in my iRacing, and it will do that if there's a bit of a wreck. Let's have a look at Nate Morrow first.
So another caution flag. We'll take a look at it and see what happened here.
Ooh, no, it's the 38, isn't it? It looks like.
That's Nate Maurer. That's Chad Ross. Chad Ross bouncing into another truck, sending Stephen Page around, sending some more trucks into the outside wall or into the grass on the outside wall in the infield grass. I meant.
This may be where
Watch
it
this
started.
again, man. It's like a chain reaction here.
It's 3 wide action again, isn't it, Wesley? That's there. Oof.
Yeah, there's the contact. That's Phil Pappas. Got in the field, gets into Maurer. Up the hill. Ross turns into some more trucks. Wow.
Might be Robert.
You know, I'll say this. He lucked out when he got into Lumpkin earlier. I think this might have been the cause and effect, if you will. Watch this again. Robert Richards. Craig Schroeder. Up against the wall. By the way, Robert Richards tonight, start number 418. He is the all-time starter of NASRA competitors. That's not what he wanted to have happen, though. Watch this again. On board with Craig Schroeder.
He gets tagged there.
Yeah, where do you go? Richards into him, and bam, look at that. And then he gets hit again from the white truck.
That'll
Craig
bring a
Schroeder
few
did.
drivers down pit road with those repairs that they want to be chiseling out of those machines. Nate Maurer's in there, Tom Lester, Chad Ross, Cody Knott went to avoid that. Craig Schroeder. They've gone down their Wes, but as to be expected because they want to stay out, try to remain out on the leading lap as much as they can, but at the same time, head down there and get some of that NASCAR gaffer tape slapped on those on the trucks, isn't it?
Gaffer tape. Yes. Yeah. Barabon. We call it Barabon. Gaffer tape. Barabon.
Let's have a look at again of the all-important standings. Cole's in a strong place currently at the moment, leading this race, and a good result out of our stage 1 as well too.
You understand the bracket, right, Dean?
Yes,
you
sir.
kind of got an idea now what it is,
yeah.
what we're seeing.
You're battling just that group once again. So in his group, he's got to make sure he finishes with more points ahead of Brady LaBeouf, more points ahead of Lester. It's more Justin Lumpkin that's at the worry here, because you think with the 26 points that Cole has, and we don't know how many more points there would be from the stage 1 here tonight as well, adding to his tally. But Lumpkin's the one that has to get 26 or more points at least tonight than Cole. Well, he's really with Leicester that he's battling with at the moment. You have to say for Justin Lumpkin, isn't it? Because Leicester's on the 0 points. So Lumpkin's got to finish ahead of Leicester in points on this round tonight in order for him to go through to those next 3 brackets where you see the 3 lines. That's where he wants to put his name. Leicester, of course, his job is to make sure he finishes ahead of Justin Lumpkin. So that's really what it comes down for those two in that red bracket. And of course, if Lumpkin comes out and wins this race, bingo, he's automatically going to be in. Would that then drop Leicester, I would imagine, as the 3rd driver, if you do happen to win? Right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, bottom line is here, 6 drivers are going to be eliminated. All the ones that are in red right now are on the cusp of being eliminated if this was an elimination race. However, it is not. Daytona last week, won by Joey Stiers, advances him into the quarterfinals. Chicagoland Speedway tonight, and Michigan next week. And then next week, that will become 3 drivers that will battle in their group for an elimination race. That's right, and that's the end of the round of 24. 6 drivers will be eliminated, and then it'll be the round of 18 semifinal. Or the quarterfinal, actually. My apologies, the quarterfinals. Then another 3 rounds from there at Kansas, Atlanta, Kentucky. Then it's the semifinals, which will be Richmond, Talladega, Homestead, round of 12. And then 6 drivers, the champion of those respective brackets as we got them driving in the grass. Hold on, baby. That is Stephen Gregory off the reservation, back on the ballpark. And we're 4 wide as they dive into turn 2.
Oh, too early, gentlemen. Way too early. You can do this on the last lap of the race if you can get up there, but that's something inevitably going to brew here at the moment. I'm going to go back and from Peacock and have a look at this, and Peacock's probably sitting there going, holy moly. I'm sitting back at the moment. I'm going to watch that unfold ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing Peacock might better do is just kind of lay back there, wait for things to settle down as Joey Stiers, winner in Daytona, as Harris is in Sparks, up against the wall.
Don't you love nighttime racing when you can actually see those sparks just absolutely kick the gun at the 80? So he got a good run.
Right.
Riding the fence, it just slammed him straight, put him some right into the back there of Tiffany. As he says, I'm going to go down the inside apron, use that momentum, swing by, create another 3 wide action here at the Brickyard, 220.
And by the way, heading into the home stretch of Glass Mechanics stage number 2, lap 78, remember, the caution flag will come out. We're just headering on the end of that one. Is Cinnamon on the inside, the Spice Man, the Season 3 champion. Powers on the bottom. He is not racing for the title. Got nothing to prove, nothing to gain. He just wants to win. But Lyons battles back, the Daytona winner in the 53 on the inside.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons does have everything to gain here in the championship hunt, in the playoffs as well too. And you're right, Wesley. I would just let Cinnamon back through. Did the switcheroo. We saw that earlier, didn't we, in stage 1? The drivers do. You go up the inside, you rebound it, slingshot it down the inside, and you reverse that all over again. Hopefully, it'll push those 2 away from the rest of the field because Joey Stiers is coming in the background. He was blinking earlier too, Wesley, but I think he's sorting his internet connection out, thankfully, in his man cave that he has too. Maybe he's turned off a couple of those screens and saved some internet.
If you think about it, Dean, Chris Cinnamon made every effort possible he could to try to put himself in the opportunity. It just couldn't win. He couldn't do what he needed to do to lock himself into the playoffs. The former champion. Here comes Joey Stiers on the inside. He'll make a run for 3rd. He'll get around him now. Joey Stiers, by the way, want to talk about somebody having momentum in the bracket? It's this guy, the 23 in the bottom bracket, the orange bracket. He won Daytona last week. He's got a lock. He's already advancing to the quarterfinals, and now he just got to win races and continue to show his momentum in 3rd, battling for the leaders right now, all 4.
Yeah, exactly. On the graphic, I don't even have him highlighted by anything, but don't worry about Joey Stiers. He's actually through. So no problemo for him. He's just having some fun out here. What he can do and what he could do, what he might be able to do, of course, is win the race deny somebody else from having a padlock next to them. There you go. Make it even
That's
more
right.
difficult for them to get through on points. Well, more so, anybody in his group as well, too. He doesn't want any of them to get a padlock.
And right now, Stiers, Maurer, Newton, and Tiffany are those drivers that Joey Stiers is competing with. But he's already got the lock. He's advanced into the quarterfinal round. And right now we see Lucas Lyons working his way, leading the graphic in blue. By the way, you see the graphic and the colors, and that lets you know and lets us know,
Oh,
bravo, that what drivers are. Whoa, we got Jason Morellas in reverse,
thankfully, he stays still.
going
there,
northbound in a southbound lane is Jason Morellas. Oh boy, oh boy. Caution out again. What is this?
Yeah.
The 6th yellow, I think, something like that, man.
Yeah, he was already in the fence at this point, and 18 gets into him.
Wow.
Thankfully,
Yeah, it's Lumpkin into the glass mechanic number 1, Jason Morellas. Jason Morellas has not gotten to race that much with us. Good to see him back. I know he
So
plans to make some more races with us whenever he can. Driver the number 1. There's a hit again. Yeah, wow.
That's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you got to say, Jason's scrubbed a lot of speed there when he's, wall riding at that point, and then when he comes back down, it might have caught the other driver off completely with the speed misjudgment and got into him. So that's one for our race control to go over and analyze there, Wesley.
They'll have to muddle it over, as they say, right? Cost it out again. We're stepping away. 10 laps remaining in Glass Mechanics stage number 2. We're back from Chicagoland after this word. Back here at Chicagoland Speedway, approaching the end of Glass Mechanics stage number 2. So welcome you back to coverage of the Brickyard 220 on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. And hey, there it is!
Yep, I'll have to just expand it.
Make that sucker huge. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the NASRA 1100. Another big NASRA special event, just like the NASRA 500 at Daytona. That's, by the way, that second annual event will be back in January of 2026. But here you go, all the details on this one. And Dean, it is going to be a fun one. And you like open wheel cars just as much as I do. And we're going to have fun with those Hondas and Chevys and Delaras and the Aero McLarens. And yeah, man, it's going to be fun. Push to pass, hybrid, IndyCar, snaking. We're going to enjoy the virtual greatest spectacle of racing, the NASRA Hoosier 500.
And it's something different as well, too, Wesley. You know, it's where we don't always go switch it over to the open wheel cars here on the NASRA network, but special events, absolutely. So it'll be a lot of fun to see how a lot of these drivers do handle it when they jump out of a truck and out of a car and into an open wheeler, and also perhaps some drivers from the outside who don't usually race in these series will go, I'm not bad in an open wheeler. I'll jump in and I'll be a part of this fantastic event on June the 8th.
And I'm looking forward to being the lead anchor of that as well. June 8th, Jacob Reeves, the Redneck announcer, will be alongside with yours truly and Dean, and we're going to have fun. Again, it's the NASRA 1100. And by the way, you do not have to run and or the IndyCar or the 87 Cup race for the World 600. And there are sponsor announcements to soon come in the coming days, as a matter of fact. Literally, Cody was telling me the other night on Saturday night, Sunday morning, that they were working on finalizing some sponsors for it. So it's going to be really cool. Green flag back out. We try to end stage number 2, presented by Glass Mechanic, with about 7 to go as they go back into turn number 1. Dean, and boy, they ain't wasted no time to get back to the whip.
Points are points, my friend, especially in playoffs. You need every single one you can possibly get if you're outside looking in. And they're going to be battling like that's the case with Lucas Lyons, Joey Stiers, Andrew Harris, the Spice them in the background, Cole and Roger Diebol up 24 places in P6.
Up high, they bang fenders. Here comes down Stiers on the inside. Battling with Lyons, and Harris is right there with them. They're Team Blue. Lyons and Harris trying to battle the man that won already, Joey Stiers, Daytona winner, already into the quarterfinals. He now pulls into second, throws the block on Cinnamon, and they work their way down into turn number 3.
These laps are going to go by pretty quickly too here, Wesley, at Chicagoland. If you get that blue group, it's a pretty tough group at the moment, isn't it? With 3 of them inside the top 7. It's only Chris Blanchard after that incident that we saw is way down in P35 at the moment. But yeah, I'll tell you what, that's going to be a tough group to top on that one, Wes. But Lucas Lyons is one on top at the moment.
By the way, Joey Stiers should be in orange. I don't know why he's not in orange, but
Yeah,
he should be in orange. He's already won. He's on to the next round. Guys in black are drivers that are not in the championship bracket playoffs. They're just wanting to win, like Cinnamon. Lucas Lyons, Team Blue, leader of the bracket, to the lead now as we close in on the end of stage 2. They're on the back straightaway.
I'll tell you what, Wesley, maybe we'll talk to Cody about having these drivers where it says the DSR electric on the top of the windscreen. Maybe have that color-coded as well, too, in the future. We'll see about that maybe.
That might be a good idea, yeah. Have their colors for their bracket. Yeah, that's a good idea. That'll be a better idea. Or it would be good to match it with the scoring ticker as well, for sure. That definitely could be something we could... I don't know how hard it would be to change it.
Oh, well, something we look at. That's what
nonetheless, Lyons in the lead. Lyons in the lead. Lyons in the blue, number 53. DSR electric entry down to the inside, working his way. Off of turn number 4, the lightning bolt in the wind. Closing in on the remaining laps of Glass Mechanics Stage 2.
I love that, isn't it? Is that... What does that say?
A top tier. I think it's called top tier. Top tier.
He certainly is in the top tier. In his tier as well, too. Oh, the irony.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity.
Harris now. Harris and Thomas now. Those guys are in the blue bracket with Lyons. They're in the back. Blanchard in the blue bracket is out. Coming to the line. Closing in on 2 to go here in stage number 2, and it's a battle going on now for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, these two are going to push themselves out of this contending at the moment if they keep door banging like that. But they're going to be more fiercely competing, knowing that both of these drivers are crucial to get points in their bracket. So they're fighting like it's the last lap of the race to the checkered flag. So one to go at the moment. Let's see how they pan out.
Final lap. There he goes, Lucas Lyons in the blue bracket. The top tier Juice World number 53 Chevrolet, leading them in the corner for the final time. Half a car length, maybe 6/10 on Stiers. Daytona winner, leader of the orange bracket, already in the quarterfinals. He's got a lock on second. Behind them is Cinnamon, not in the playoff contention. And then the blue guys of Harris and Thomas, and now Maurer gets his nose into the top 5 as they come to the line, and the caution will come out as we end stage number 2. Lucas Lyons will win stage 2 in the 53.
He's juiced up. He's juiced up for Juice World, the 53, absolutely. Now that's going to be looking good for his bracket, no doubt. And we'll quickly show that for a second as well, too, for our class mechanic. But Lucas Lyons there, Wesley. Yeah, look at that, my friend. He's already got the maximum amount of points into that group, so add a little bit.
He really
more
does,
to that.
yeah.
He's looking strong. It's Blanchard that, unfortunately, is going to have a tough work next week, isn't it, for Chris Blanchard, because he's out of this race, and he essentially, at that point, will need a race win next week to keep his playoff dreams alive.
So Lucas Lyons for Dragon Racing Esports joins us in the booth right now. Lucas, congratulations. What a job winning stage 2, representing the blue bracket.
Thanks, man. I definitely had to work for that one. There's definitely racing all over this track. And hopefully I can bring it all the way to the end.
I got to ask you this question. How different is the racing on the track or amongst yourself with being in this bracket? And by the way, I'm going to let you step away so you can make your adjustments so you can be on pit road, because we do see you leading the field on pit road. So I'll cover for you for just a moment as everybody is coming down pit lane. We are talking with the stage number 2 winner presented by the Glass Mechanic, driver the 53 of Lucas Lyons, leader of the blue bracket. And of course, as he gets ready to make his tires and fuel, Lucas, I think you've made your adjustments of what you need to do. How different is it racing in a bracket schedule, if you will, for a playoff championship?
It's definitely a lot harder to remember who's in your bracket. So I'm definitely looking at my standings a little bit more than what I'm used to. But I will say it is a nice change of pace than everything else that's been going on and how other leagues do it. And personally, I really do enjoy it because they're racing the same five guys throughout the bracket, and with some getting eliminated. But again, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Dean, you got anything to add to that for Lucas? Buddy?
Lucas, yeah. Well, we've got the colours up here to highlight who's in your bracket on the timing tower. Unfortunately, you won't have that when you're driving. But you're in a good place. You've just come out in P2 after those pit stops as well, too, just with Matt Cherry. I presume you took tyres as well, too, mate? 14-second pit stop?
Yeah, I took tires, so we'll see what I can do with the tires that I have on here and the remaining ones I got left, and hopefully I'll have a little bit of fun racing with Cherry. He's a good dude.
By the way, Thomas and Harris, your competition in your bracket blue, are in 8th and 9th. And your other competitor, Chris Blanchard, already in the red, is back in 35th. I think he's actually out of the race. So
yeah,
they're the more you know, if you will.
The more you know. So well, I'll definitely use this race, and I want to say Michigan next week to try to build the momentum up for the next round.
All right, man. Thank you for your time. Good luck the rest of the way. Go get him, Lucas.
Thank you.
Lucas Lyons, of course, joining us in the booth, and we'll bring him back down to his world with Dragon Racing Esports. There he is. And Dean will now settle in for the shootout of this race on lap number 82 of 147. Here's the run of the money. It'll be 65 laps to go when they come back to the green flag. 32 laps the distance.
Yeah. Exactly, the final stage, the final countdown, but not the finale.
Actually, that I don't understand what the final stage means. I don't get that. But
we got
lap 78 to lap number 147. It'll be 65 to go now. They're coming to green. Yeah.
Yep.
Coming to green. Here we go. And I got a feeling the fireworks are going to fly. You notice what Lucas said, though, Jake, Dean. I'm racing with my guys that I'm competing with. I'm trying to literally just outdo the blue bracket. Even though I want to win, and he's looking for the lead on Matt Cherry, who, by the way, is in that green bracket. They're side by side. Look at Cinnamon and Stires. There's an orange bracket coming. That's Stires and Maurer trying to tag team the top 3 off turn number 4.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, the drivers have to be a little bit aware who's around them in their bracket. Not something we're going to see the full action match back here. Yeah, we're at spicing and dicing through the middle of the pack. We're on P10 at the moment here. Is going to be a place that you have to be full concentration through the roof there, Wesley, because this car's slipping and sliding. And bubble and a giggle and a jiggle and how does it go, Wesley? I don't even want to look at this.
That was Brady the Muffin just bounced off the wall and we're 4 wide again.
Yeah, that's
a wiggle and a jiggle and a giggle and a bobble, and somehow they still keep it in tow. Working off forward to the line.
Imagine seeing this one. These drivers at the moment, they have Adam Newton and all that, looking back into that one. Thankfully, it has sorted itself out to 3 wide. You win 3 wide at Chicago is very comfortable, my friend, but these drivers don't mind it. It's when the 4 wide shenanigans start that everybody starts to close their eyes a little bit.
Up high, Bo Tiffany, outside, inside, comes now Lester. He had problems earlier. We're 3 wide again now. Just got a feeling that when they drop the green flag, that's Larson in the middle, by the way.
Oh,
Triple Brady LaBeouf and Larson into the wall. Playoff contenders crash in turn number 1. Oh, no.
It was brewing up, Wesley. It was brewing up at that point. I kind of knew something was going to happen. And we saw it live, actually. I even pointed the camera knowing that that's probably around the hot spot where this is going to be a caution.
Wow, watch the replay. Larson of the 98 into the right rear of Brady LaBeouf. Bo Tiffany gave a little push, but then backed out of the way. Oh, no. Oh, man. And there, look, Cole Hendrickson got collected.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the 10, nowhere to go for Cole Hendrickson. He took a hard shot into the front nose, into the wall in the 10-101 Designs entry. Watch this. Watch Cole Hendrickson on board with him. This will be a hit right here, Dean.
Yeah, he's just driving along too. This is the only problem when you are at the back of the field and there's a wreck that comes up there. You've got 0 time to react. He's going on the inside there. Just couldn't quite see Brady's car. Truck just slide down a little bit. I'm sure Brady was on the anchors as well too. He's just supposed to be. But, at that point, there's a momentum in the car moving forward and Cole, nowhere to go. Hard licking at the fence.
Wow.
What's interesting, Wesley, is that Cherry's now pitted from essentially running up.
Yeah, Cherry's on pit road. Yeah, he pitted. He's in 8th or 9th and pitted. Yeah, he's on a different role here than everyone else, man. Wow.
Bo Tiffany's gone in as well. We're seeing Peacock, Massa. I think some of these other drivers are heading back in again to chip out some of those repairs that they had earlier so that they can remain to stay on that lead lap there, Wesley. Going to be crucial for them.
Let's check in with Brady LaBeouf. Brady, how badly damaged is your truck, and what's your take of what happened out there at the beginning of stage number 3?
Oh, I mean, I was on fresh tires, and I was going through the field, and I guess there was a lot of people on different strategies or whatnot. I don't know. I've got a black flag. I got a meatball right now, so I'm sure it's going to be 30+ minutes or whatnot. I'm pretty much done for the night.
That's heartbreaking, isn't it? I mean, do you feel like? Well, the question I'm asking you is, do you feel like you're happy with the bracket playoff program, where you're kind of racing the 4 trucks that are in your bracket? And I guess for you, you're in the top of the red with Hendrickson, Lester, and Lumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a new wrinkle to kind of change it up and do something different, with the playoffs and instead of the same old thing. So I thought it was a great season to kind of try it out, it being the 5th season, but it's been fun. It's just kind of, I guess, see where we end up at after tonight, going into Michigan next week.
All right, there's the thoughts of Brady LaBeouf. Brady, thanks for your time, man.
No problem. Thank you.
On the meatball flag, I think it's going to be out. Go ahead.
Hang around at all, Brady. Perhaps give us a little bit of analysis and stuff like that during as our racing driver. Pit lane reporter.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you want, my friend. I know that you're pretty busy in the background as well, too, but you might be spotting for your teammates. But, yeah, you're the boss, man.
Yeah, I'm about to check it out. I'm still towing right now. So as soon as they bring it back to the pits or whatnot, we'll figure it out, and I might come join you guys.
There you go. All right.
Thank you.
So, Brady, we'll let you get back down there, and if you pop back up, we'll bring you in, obviously, boss. And NASCAR 1100 going to be a good one coming up in June, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Indy cars and 87 Cup cars, and that's Brady, one of the guys behind NASRA. More details at North American Sim Racing Association. The boss man right there with Cody Knott, and they're getting ready for a big one. It's going to be fun. Ready for the pace truck to drop onto the pit lane. We are back underway. Lap number 89 of 147. The rubber meets the road here as we close in on 60 to go. Under 60 to go. 58 remaining on the restart.
Yeah, this is the time to start moving to the field there, because it all depends on how many of those four coaches have down the pit road too. If you have to jump out and to your pit stop again, and those tyres will make a big difference for a late charge in this race. But for now,
and I'll be honest with you, man, I'm going to be honest with you, Dean. It seemed like when that green flag fell the last time, before the Larson LaBeouf Hendrickson crash that they turned up the energy. I mean, it was like a C4 was lit, and you just saw the intensity on these guys on the start. Maybe they need to let it simmer down just a little bit. Let's get to about 30, 25 to go, and then maybe you punch the button. Maybe it was a little too prematurely. But right now, we're watching them getting right back to it aggressively again. Harris about bounced off the wall. In Sparks, Dan Hagan. All this going on is they're in a group now on the inside, and Harris on the wall again.
Yeah, Harris has been up in that wall a couple of times, but that's the thing. You've got that barrier. The wall is also a safety net, really, isn't it? Because you can slide off a little bit as long as you don't do a hard lick there and damage your truck too much. You should be okay. It's just when you're down on the inside apron and then you swing straight up hard to that wall. That's something that may not buff out there, Wes.
Bottom of the apron there is Darren Bruce, by the way. Darren Bruce climbing back out of the top 10. And now look at Cinnamon going after Lyons for the lead. Lyons and the Spice Man, Season 3 champion. His Chevrolet reeling in the 53 into turn 3.
The bronze machine is with that new livery that he has is somehow finding an extra horsepower, extra pace as well too. I think Chris Cinnamon, the double C's, looking strong here tonight for potentially a race win here and stealing a padlock for anybody else in the playoffs to be able to take to the next round.
Anybody that knows the past of seeing Chris Cinnamon's truck, it's normally like a dark orange color. This is like a light brown or a bronze. I think that's the or copper, a copper color, if you will. That's kind of the color he has right now. And right now, it has been flawless here at Chicagoland as we're approaching lap 100 and heading into 50 to go here.
Oh, we got a new nickname there for it. It's Chris the Copper Cinnamon. Copper Cinnamon?
Yeah. Chris Copper Cinnamon. There you go. Spice Man.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how that pans out for him. Stephen
Did
Thomas
you see
doing a
that
fantastic
move?
job. Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Oh! Threading the needle, throwing the block on Bruce and Goodwin in the 13. And now Goodwin's in the fence.
That's going to scrub him some speed. Where's Dan Hagan going to go? Can't really go on the inside because there's a 0.5
Wow.
of Darren Bruce. How's that for a fight back with Darren Bruce, isn't he? He was all the way in the outhouse, my friend, and he's hit the express button on the elevator all the way up at the moment to the sub-penthouse, currently in P7.
Trying to go for a 3-for-1 special on the 0.5 of Bruce on those trucks, including Smith and Hagan and Goodwin on the inside. Drifts up. Hagan in the wall. Smith watches on. There's Kermit. Ribbit. The star base, 15, 52, Kermit's entry. What do you say, Dean?
It's perfectly frog here. And, yeah, we've also got the boss man, LaBeouf here as well, too, that's joined us after his unfortunate retirement.
They could have hired you to do the voiceover at Kermit. You know that?
I can only do a couple of words like that. I tell you what, it's been the blue bracket all night. Have a look at the red bracket. Well, we see LaBeouf's out, of course. Cole's out of this race. Lester's down there in P16. Lumpkin's down there in P17. You can see the whole orange group's essentially all together. That's orange and yellow as well, too. And then the green machines are all the way back as well, too. Outside the 20s, my friend. But it's all blue.
Brady, did you think that that there would be like a bracket kind of domination, if you will? I mean, like, look at the blue bracket. It's dominating right now at the top of the board.
No, I'm seeing that for the first time, and it's pretty interesting that everybody's kind of grouped up together. I mean, that's what you want to see, right? You want to see everybody kind of competitive with one another. So it's awesome to kind of see that, how you see the greens and the blues together.
But at the end of the day, aren't you wanting to beat them? That's your competition.
Oh, you want to beat them, but I'm just saying from a viewer standpoint or competitive standpoint, it's awesome to see, you know?
Yeah. Well, and by the way, the other blue, the one you always talk about, Chris Blanchard, he's out. So was that his first race back and he crashed out?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he's still in it. So, I mean, he can come to Michigan where he's won before next week and steal the show. So it's not over until the round's over. So, I mean, Chris Blanchard's not out of it by any means.
And remember, this is the opening round, the round of 24, 6 drivers in the red right now. They'll be eliminated, whoever they are, at the end of next week in Michigan. And then we go to the round of 18, which will be the quarterfinals. and then there's the semifinal, and then the finale will be at Las Vegas. And something I also noticed as well into this bracket challenge playoff format. By the way, we're on lap 100 with 47 to go now at the line. Brady, there is one less bracket, or if you will, round for the playoffs that we haven't seen in the past. Now you only got 3 rounds to the final. It used to be 4 rounds to the final. What made that decision, and obviously putting more drivers in the chance to win the championship.
Chris
Oh,
Cinnamon.
as you see, Cinnamon gets in the wall right there.
Who was that,
And
actually?
tail whips
Harris.
Andrew Harris, the 87. Oh, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, he's going to scroll.
He's
down
still
to the
going, though.
speed. This is the dangerous
they
part,
saved
isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
now the yellow flag's out.
Serve pro caution out for the 9th time.
Oh, it's
Lap
for Cody.
number 101. And we got problems. Cody Knott and Jason Morales up against the fence. So maybe, just maybe our buddy Harris was able to scamper away, Brady, but then Cody Knott and Jason Morales couldn't.
Absolutely. As we see the pulse poppers is the replay. Oh, that looks like the 25 is involved a little bit. Maybe looks like it's 2 different trucks besides Cody and Morales. Somebody comes up right here.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
That's Robbie. That's Robbie Richards coming from the grass up into the track and gets into Cody.
My goodness, he can't get a break, Robbie
And
Richards.
Cody's going to hit Morales right there and knock him into the wall.
Yeah, stay with it. This is all after Harris went in the grass. That was up ahead.
This is Robert Richards that gets.
See up ahead on the top left, you see the truck in the grass already. Now here we go. Oh, the 25 and the 48.
And this
And
is
then-
where.
Yeah, at that point, you're just along for the ride.
No.
You don't really have any control, Wesley. And unfortunately, Cody gets involved in that. And then here come Morales, just kind of, I guess, minding his own business. And Cody.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
really
Cody
hold
comes
the brake.
down. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The rule is you go to the bottom and avoid him. And, I guess he thought he could race the 26
the
back down the
ankles,
bacon,
don't
I
you?
guess.
You just meant to completely stop if you can, but if the car's already sliding and you've got the brakes on, look at that. Bang, that's 1.
No.
Okay, so Cody's just a passenger going around, and then he's just sitting there, bang, comes down. Oh. It's like all that open race track, and the cars just are like magnets. They happen to find each other on the track.
But back to your question, Wesley, we've always ran, 3 rounds of 3 races.
Yeah.
You kind of start off with the 20 down to 14, down to 10, down to 6. We just kind of, we got rid of the drop races, so it kind of makes it easy to manage everything. You don't have to go there and just ask the drivers. Well, you used to ask them what was their worst 3 races they want to drop, and you wouldn't get a response. So then you had to kind of go do a lot of the work yourself, and then it was kind of like, well, if we extend it to 24, we shouldn't have to worry about drop races. So that's what we tried out. I feel like it worked. It really, did not matter with the drop races. The people that should have been in the top 24 made the top 24. So it kind of all worked out with that scenario. And then this whole bracket idea that Tyler and I kind of came up with in the executive chat, it's been really different, as you can see. It's going to be interesting as people get knocked out, because nobody is really safe. I know Lucas, but the big thing is like you see like Stiers, Maurer, Newton, and Bo Tiffany. Bo Tiffany's in the red, and all those guys seem like they're safe right now because Bo's running in the back. But Bo could go to Michigan next week and win.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it puts Maurer and Newton in a really bad
Blanchard.
spot. Yeah,
Blanchard, as you mentioned, in the blue.
Exactly. It puts you in a bad spot because you're thinking, okay, well, I'm plus 34 as Andrew Harris is. But if Blanchard wins next week, he's got to figure out where Stephen Thomas is at and how many points he's behind him. So you can have a high seed get knocked out these first few rounds and not even make it to the final 12 before the championship 6.
I think it's better than the Final Four in basketball. March Madness. Here we go.
It's like the NBA East versus West kind of thing, even though, but they're all in their subdivision. So it'll be certainly exciting to do. I love this format, and NASRA is certainly our first of many that we had for the, obviously earlier on for the year. We had the Daytona 500, and that was completely different as well, too, that we had. So, hats off to you, boss man, you and Cody, and the powers that be that all got together and dictated how this format is.
42 remaining as the green flag flies again. Lap number 105, working lap 106 when they come to the stripe. It is Lions, Team Blue, back up on Cinnamon. And that copper number 3, the Spice Man, we got one sideways. Hold on.
Newton. Oh.
Adam Newton stacking everyone behind him as Craig Schrader got collected, and he turns into the 37 a mess in the wall. Caution out again. This is the 10th time. Oh, no.
Yep, let's go back and have a look at the Pulse Poppers replay. On
Yellow
that one.
flag.
It was definitely Newton, isn't it? Let's go back a little bit further because he went.
Brady,
right
did
down.
Adam do something wrong, or, was that just Craig Schroeder being too aggressive when he caught the 19? What are you seeing here?
So obviously Adam Newton gets loose right here, right? And he kind of gets a little tap from the 20. It's very loose in the apron right here, but he gathers it back up. He gets it straight. I think the 56 just comes down. He's about to come in your picture right here.
Yeah.
He just comes down maybe, and he might be a little bit loose because he was going high, and then the 61 was to his outside, so he turned down low. So it kind of looks like both of them just get loose, but the 56 does come down on Newton. I don't think Newton did anything wrong right there.
I want to go.
And that was the black machine of Stephen Gregory, by the way. That was the 56 battling to get around. So
I want to have a look at the save that Adam Newton does. Have a look at this. This is pretty good save actually, because this is not easy. You can probably explain this, Brady, how much fighting you are doing in the truck at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting it, and there's a bump that's real bad coming out of 4, and if you hit that bump in the wrong spot, turning the wheel left, it's going to shoot out the rear end around, and then you get on the apron, and it's just another mess with being loose. And like I said, I think the 56, I'd like to put it on the 56, maybe 4 chase, and just see how he kind of orcs it out there, and then comes back down.
Oh, and by the way, Newton never spun out Brady. Never. Watch the 19 the whole time. Look at this.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's just a bad entry right there by the 56. And it's not his fault. I mean, he's trying to avoid the 19 on the bottom, and he's trying to avoid the 61 on his outside. But you take that bad entry, and you turn the wheel left a little bit more. The trucks are tight, and so then you're tight in and you're loose out. So then you got to kind of collect it and gather it. But it's just one of those racing deals, I believe, right now with the track conditions.
We're getting information out there from Jonathan Caulfield that who's out of this race, and he had VR issues, and he was saying he hoped he didn't cause anything from earlier on in this race.
Oh, wow.
Technical issues are unfortunate, especially when you're in VR or if your monitor's unplugged or even your steering wheel gets unplugged. It happens all the time there, and of course at that point you're a passenger, and once again are hoping, like Caulfield said, not to affect somebody else's race, but technical issues are technical issues.
That's right. Under caution again. Hey, real quickly, put up the flyer. Brady, looking forward to this one, man. You always are testing the limits in the world of NASRA and iRacing, and putting Indy cars in the NASRA fold is going to be pretty darn cool coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, and, the 87 Cup
yes,
cars, we've done some expedition races at Talladega with them just for some fun times, but we never put on a real event with them. And this was a board decision, and I was all for it, and it's going to be a long day for all of us as we've done this before back in January with the Daytona 500, so it's nothing, I guess, new or anything different than we done before, but I just don't see that many people doing the 1100 in one day, so we're going to give it a go and see how it goes.
Is there a bonus for somebody, like if you win the NASRA, Hoosier 500 IndyCar event, and then the 87 Cup 600 miler? Is there a bonus or anything?
We're definitely going to do something special for the guys that do the double it's going to be a like a long 9-hour day. So there will be something if somebody was to pull it off.
Yeah. And we'll have coverage on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Jacob Dean and myself for that one, calling all 1,100 miles and even knockout qualifying. You know, we talked about the race itself for Indy. The qualifying to get that 33rd final position for the race is always exciting and intense. Look at what happened yesterday to make the real greatest spectacle in racing. Trouble, caution out again. This is number 12. While Meza in
And
trouble.
Kaufman, I think, got together. Yeah, that's the situation.
Oh, yeah. Kaufman and Meza. Here we go. Wow. Brady, are you going to drive one of the Indy cars?
If I was to race one of them, it would be as we were looking on board with the 25 of James Kaufman. Oh, just comes down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
19 had a nose right there, and it looked like the 25 just kind of come down right there.
Dust in the wall. T-bone shot by Stephen Gregory, and then that, of course, all happened after the LF came out. Go ahead.
If there was one of the races that I was going to run, it would be the Indy 500 over the Coke 600. A lot of the board members that work these events, we try to accommodate one another so that everybody can kind of enjoy themselves and have fun. Like we did the 500, we all kind of took turns racing in heat races and whatnot. So some work some races and some race in them. We're getting a lot of talks about guys who are wanting to kind of pick the Indy 500 over the Coke 600 and vice versa. I think Huck was one of the ones that wants to run the Coke 600 and Robbie wants to run the Indy 500. So we're going to kind of see who wants to work what event, and if there's an opportunity, I'll probably jump in the Indy 500.
There you go. All right.
Well,
it's
which
gonna be
cars
fun.
are you running for the Indy? Real quick.
The Lars,
right?
It's the IR 18, the 18s.
Okay, so everybody's going to be in the Chevrolet Delar IR18 model, basically.
Yeah,
That's what they're going to be running.
Yeah, it's one car that we're going to use.
Okay, yeah. All right, cool deal. Well, that puts everybody on an equal playing field, and that'll be really, really cool to watch. Again, coverage begins at 11 a.m. Knockout qualifying. Remember, fighting for those 33 spots. And, Brady, I talked to Cody the other night, and I think you already said there's close to 30 drivers pre-entered for the NASRA Indy 500, and then, of course, for the NASRA Coke 600, the World 600, you've already got close to 20-plus of those. So it's filling up. It's filling up.
Yeah, and I got a lot of messages today about, guys wanting to know if it's still time. I mean, it's plenty enough time. We're going to take as many as we can all the way up till probably, I might cut it off
Friday.
at June 7th, Friday night, so we can get organized so that we're prepared, or maybe even Saturday, maybe get organized or whatnot. But I don't want people signing up on the 8th. I want to kind of have it locked in.
And I would definitely say, no, I'm sorry. You had your chance, and if you try to sign in at the last minute, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
No.
we're going to definitely be locked in when it comes to Sunday morning because it's going to be a lot on our plates as admins. I mean, we're not making any money. We're not doing anything. I mean, we've got the purse already up, and it's all the full amount. But we do encourage, if we have 33 that sign up for the Indy 500, we're going to keep on adding to it, and we're going to have knockout qualifying. So you're going to pay an entry fee, which we call it a qualifying fee. You're going to qualify, and if you go home, you go home.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is for the real Indy 500. You got to make it into the Fast 33. It'll be fun to watch. We're coming back to green. I know Dean's excited about it. Is it in our generation with 33 to go? Dean, he's giddy. He's giddy about it.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I love it, my friend. I absolutely love it. Because, Indy's my favorite. Of course, it's the closest thing you'll find over here in the American Series to Formula One. And we'll see how it all pans out on that one. And I don't know, Brady's probably going to have some special guests. So that if you have any special guests for the other great race. So we did, obviously, for the 500. So we'll see how it pans out. Yes, drivers, sign in early, please, because I know everybody's a last-minute Larry when it comes to the situation. They did for the 500. So much before you get and then of course what happened?
Yeah, close to what, 300
you had to
entries
close
we
the
had
doors,
for
didn't
the.
you, Brady? And you had to turn
Yeah,
people away.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Daytona 500, we gave away over $11,000. So hopefully we can make this event just as good.
And by the way, shameless plug, second annual Great American Sim Race coming up in January. I'm sure that amongst all the things that are going on in operations for NASRA on the weekly programs that we do with the different leagues, you guys are also kind of working to get the Hagen dirt tracks it. Got loose, 3 wide up the hill behind them. And somehow he now free falls, losing a lot of spots for the 39, but he saved the truck as Lyons leads him off the corner and Cinnamon right there in hot pursuit. But Brady, back to what I was saying though, the NASRA 500, it's going to be in January this year, and obviously I know you guys are still working on getting all of that ready as well as handling all the day-to-day NASRA events of today, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, after our NASRA 1100, we'll do our King of Talladega.
Yes.
Last year we did our King of Daytona. So we'll do our King of Talladega event in September.
That's on Halloween,
August.
ain't it? Ain't that in October usually?
It'll probably a little bit before that, and then we'll either probably do a Thanksgiving or Christmas race like we did last year.
Gotcha.
But once we get through September, we're gonna have everything laid out for the NASRA 500, and it'll be probably the second week of January to start off, and we might do probably a 10-day event instead of a 7-day or 6-day event like we did last time.
Oh, wow. Wow, that'd be amazing. And that would be January the 4th through the 11th, I guess?
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Well, you get signed up for that, too, whenever they tell you. And the NASRA 500, I think, really, Dean, we saw it. We were exhausted. It was fun, but it was a long week. But, man, it definitely, I think, took iRacing and strategy and signing up and formats to another level. And listen, imitation is the greatest flattery. And there were leagues, honestly, Brady, like you said, as soon as they saw what you did, they wanted to copy you, the buybacks, the buyback in and stuff like that. I mean, I think you guys really hit something out of the park, for sure.
Yeah, the rebuy system was definitely a big hit, and we're going to do it again and continue to do it. And it's nice to, be original sometimes.
Yeah. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, as people always say. It shows that you must have done something right. To the line, they're coming to the stripe, closing in on 25 to go, Dean. Next time by, it is time to obviously get in line, show your strengths, and get ready to come to the front and try to beat Lions here.
I still think Chris Cinnamon has a great shot here. He might be backing off a little bit, saving some tires. Joey Styres, of course, he's already locked in at the moment. He doesn't need this race win, but once again, he can get this race win to deny anybody else in his group that race win, of course. And his group is Thomas, and is sorry, I'm not sure if that's in Joey Styres' group. I'm getting a little bit confused on that one. But anyway, he will deny other drivers from potentially getting a lock-in next to their name. But Lucas Lyons, just at the front, he's been controlling this race, been dominating this race. We had to speak to him after the stage 2. He's looking confident, and he said so himself. He's got to be aware that those drivers in blue are around him, and they're the only 2 drivers in blue. Thomas and Harris stood in this race, but we did unfortunately have the retirement for Chris Blanchard. He's the only other one in his bracket at the moment, so Lucas Lyons doing everything on top at the moment. Can he hold off Joey? Can he hold off Chris Cinnamon? What about Stephen Thomas? He's up 34 places as well, too, in P4. Don't count out the number 44 in P4.
And I'll tell you what, as we close in on 24, 23 to go at the line, Brady, I'm just surprised in today's race. Look at the blue brackets and look at orange. And, even Joey Styres, he's already advanced. But these are guys that are, needing to have good runs, and they're literally staying in the top 10. This is a race amongst the racers themselves, and they're racing with each other in the bracket.
Yeah, and like I said, it just adds a new wrinkle to everything because you're so worried, when we used to start these playoffs, 19 other guys racing amongst themselves. Ooh, and that was a little tap right there. Almost bad.
And that's Darren Bruce to
but now
Harris.
you kind of break it down, and you're kind of point picking across 3 other guys because you're racing just 3 other guys instead of 19 or 23. So
Right.
it's just a different animal, and the pressure's on. As soon as last week at Daytona, you can tell when all 38 of us showed up. It's just so much pressure to kind of get through these rounds and perform.
Off of turn 4 to the line. 21 laps to go. Bo Tiffany, and we're seeing guys pit. Here comes Harris and Pappas on pit road.
Yeah,
Gotta wonder, Dean, is this unscheduled? What's going on?
Yeah,
Well, they can't make it on fuel. Yeah, they can't make it on fuel. You can only run about 29, 30 laps. But they definitely had to pit for fuel. I think it's a little bit early, but you also want to do something different than Lucas because he seems to be pulling away from everybody. So maybe it's the right strategy, Dean.
I'd say so. If the undercut could pay off dearly here, and on top of it, you don't know if he's going to throw a late caution. Caution comes in the mix as well too, and you could stay out there, just zoom on from the outhouse to the penthouse if that situation's up. But it's always gambling on the unknown, and that's what that strategy calls are all about. 20 to go here at the moment, but as Brady said,
Yeah.
they can't make it to the end there, boys.
Yeah, by the way, Premier Racing Setups, 20 to go. We'll go side by side to thank our partner as we are seeing Steyer's Daytona winner onto the pit lane. Big thanks again to Premier Racing Setups. Mention NASRA in checkout. Get 15% off of your order, and 15% goes back into NASRA's pocket as well as we present the Premier Racing Setups, 20 to go here at Chicagoland. Dean and I talked about this, Brady. This racetrack, obviously, they say that the back straightaway, though it's 5 degrees of banking, it is like a turn. Do you feel that always in that truck?
Yeah, and I tell you this, Chicagoland raced a lot different tonight than it has in the past. I don't know if it's just because it's a track that NASCAR doesn't go to anymore, or the setup that they run now. Wow, that was a little bit of door banging right there for our buddy Jake.
Cinnamon and Thomas.
But it just races. Almost races a little bit like Kansas, old Kansas. Bottom's king for about 10, 12 laps, and then you've got to get against the wall to carry that momentum off the corners. And just had a different feel tonight. Very worn out surface for sure.
We're joined by, again, Brady LaBeouf, the president of NASRA, joining us in the booth. He did get crashed out and unfortunately was not able to continue the race, but always enjoying having Brady LaBeouf join us in the booth, as right now we are closing in on under 20 laps to go. It is Lions in the lead, about a 2 3/10 back on Cinnamon. Thomas is back 1.5 seconds. We're seeing guys pit here. Dean, obviously the question is, can Lucas Lyons go the distance, or is he going to have to come down the pit lane? Last time he pitted was lap 103.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough call, isn't it? Especially when you're running out the front, you're burning a lot. But now he's got a bit of a gap, actually. 1.2 seconds of change down from Chris Cinnamon, Spiceman. So it's going to be really up to 103. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough call on that one.
And Brady, if Lyons comes down pit road, does Thomas and Cinnamon follow him immediately and follow what he does, or do they at least go an extra lap or two to get ahead of him?
If I was both of them, I would pit right now and try to leapfrog or undercut, like Dean said earlier, is you don't want to necessarily do the same thing he does, but if he does go down, you do want to follow him.
And right now we're kind of strung out. We don't know if we'll see another caution for this race. As here comes Cinnamon.
Oh, hold it.
Copper, number 3, season 3 champion, the Spiceman from Canada, is on pit road. He might have heard what Brady just told him to do.
I think he did, didn't he, Brady? I think he said, okay, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, for sure. 14 laps to go. I think you got to come in. Those guys that have already pitted that we saw, like Matt Cherry and some of those other guys, Joey Steyer's early, they're probably about 1.5 seconds a lap faster than some of these leaders. So you don't want to give up too much time because you're going to have a big gap that you're going to have to close up at the end of this thing.
13 to go. Battle for third going on. That's Goodwin on the high side. Adam Newton, the Bulldog, on the bottom. in that teal, green, purple 19. Both of these drivers had some shares of bad luck, but look at them rally Dean right back into the top 5.
Yeah, Wesley, and look at the graphics at the moment there. That's the stint length. So 35 seems to be the most anybody's done. Maybe 36 from Bo Tiffany. And they'll be rapidly approaching that one at the moment, 13 to go. Lyons is on 32 laps now. They've got to be coming to the maximum stint we've seen these drivers do currently at this point.
Brady, Adam Newton pitted on lap 112. Do you think he could be the guy that's the weasel to roll the dice and stay out here to try to win this thing?
I mean, it's possible, but he's going to have to save a lot. And with the lap times, it's going to be tough. But if somebody was able to pull it off, I think Adam Newton would be one of the people that would be able to do it.
I think of all the bad luck that Adam Newton had on several occasions being caused of accidents, even before Brady joined us in the booth, and then even after Brady did. Tyler Goodwin.
Yeah.
By the way, if you did not know who that is, that's the guy from the
Dodgeball?
the movie Dodgeball. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller.
Well, it's Ben
Yes,
Stiller,
it
but
is.
what was his name?
He's going in too.
Yeah, he's
Good
coming
look.
in.
There you go. We can have a good look at Ben Stiller. There he is.
Globo Gym guy. The Globo Gym guy.
Yeah.
10 to go
Lucas
here at
Lyons in.
Chicagoland.
Race
Here he
leader
comes.
is in. So
And Newton is going to become the new leader, Brady.
Steve
Wow.
Thomas. Steve
It's going
Thomas
to be
is actually-
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thomas
no.
is going to pit. Thomas is going to have to pit. And
Yep. he's
Stephen
gonna go.
Thomas coming down pit road. Now Adam Newton will be the new leader. Or no, Adam Newton is pitting. Wow, he couldn't roll the dice either.
Oh, we see Maurer and Lumpkins coming down too.
Yep.
Stephen Page.
Stephen Gregory, Craig Schroeder now the new drivers that are up in the front. Their last pit lap was 112 with now 9 to go. Could they roll the dice here and try to shoot out for the victory?
I think maybe they can.
And here we go. Here we go, Dean and Brady. Here's drivers that are in black. They're not racing for the bracket. They're just racing for wins.
They could go to
What
the
you
end,
don't
Wesley.
want to have.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What you don't want to happen is a caution to come out if you are trying to make it.
Very true. 8 to go.
But they are going slow. Look at those cars that are coming to pit road that are just driving on by, just scooting on by quickly
Yeah.
there. With, and it's also tyres as well, too, on top of that one, because the likes of Joey Styres took tyres. Andrew Harris took tyres. Matt Cherry took tyres. Taylor Peacock took tyres. So these tyres that these drivers are running, both Stephen Gregory and Greg, a little bit in P2, they're sitting targets, actually, and Greg's
Unbelievable.
flashing as well, too, on top of that one.
And not done yet. 7 to go. There's Gregory up high. Stephen Gregory, the black 61. Stealth colors, if you will. The Dark Knight of Nazareth. Down to the inside. Here comes the 25. This is Kaufman. He's already, though, a lap down. Multiple laps down. And honestly, Brady, I would just let him go, right? I mean, I wouldn't try to force him.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to race anybody around. Plus, you can let them go by you, and you can kind of use them as a little draft to even save a little bit more fuel. But if Gregory can't make it, I'm also looking at that second place truck of 56 of Craig Schroeder. That would be a huge win for him tonight if he was able to pull that off.
I was about to say, and he's another man that's had bad luck as well. And Joey Styres, don't forget also, he's in third.
And he's got
He
a
pitted at
4
lap
to 5
128.
second cushion on Lyons right now. Now, Lyons
Yeah.
is coming. He's fast.
Gregory's going
But
in.
Joey Styres does have about a 5-second.
Gregory pits. So Stephen Gregory on pit road now. The Keystone Light, number 56. Craig Schroeder from Charlotte, where NASCAR will be for the 600 this Sunday, is now the new leader.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eyes peeled on this huge battle at the moment. Taylor Peacock, Matt Cherry, Carey, and Darren Bruce back up in this one. I think it's getting antsy between these drivers, and if there's a possibility of a late caution, it might come around these. These drivers are battling it out and thinking, perhaps there's a podium position up for grabs here. There certainly will be, and perhaps even a P2 there if Craig Schroeder does come into pit road. But he's the man in the lead at the moment, and can he just make it go? He's got a
This
14
would be huge,
second
Dean.
gap. So he can lift and coast a little bit if he needs to, though, gentlemen.
Career start, number 65 tonight for Craig Schroeder. If he wins, it will be his first career NASCAR victory in 10 top 5s and 20 top 10s. If he pulls it off there, Brady, he's got to hold on.
Kidding.
He can't. He can't. He's on pit road. Joey Styres, the Daytona winner, is now going to be the new leader with 3 to go at the line, Brady LaBeouf.
Yeah, and he's got about a 3-second cushion, about 2.5 second cushion on Lucas Lyons. So, yeah, they're coming for him. Taylor Peacock right there in second. He's gaining on him, as you can see, and Matt Cherry. So we're gonna be able to see if pitting early paid off 3/10 right there. Peacock's faster than him. So
You just got around Cherry, and remember, listen to this, Dean. Coming to 2 to go. They're all Team Orange.
Oh, yeah, it's switched around, hasn't it? Yeah, exactly. So the blues have been mixed up with the oranges and the greens. It's all happening all over the place. There could also be yellow in the mix as well, so I'll fix it up for next week, as I mentioned. But, yeah, let's see. Taylor Peacock has shaved it down to a second now, too. You might be right on this one, Brady. Can Joey hold off? Remember, Joey's already got a win, so he's fine.
That's right.
He's okay. He knows I'm comfortable. I'll go through the next round. But Taylor Peacock's like, I don't. I'd like a padlock next to my name, thank you. I would like
I think he's going to do it.
Joey Styres, can he hold off Peacock? It's now down to 0.7 of a second. He's got him in his rearview mirror. The tailgate's getting closer and closer. But here they come to the line. White flag in the air. The Darren's detail and shine. 1 to go. Final time around. Styres carrying the momentum from winning Daytona. He already is advancing to the next round. Can Peacock catch him? Taylor Peacock working into turn 3. Brady, I don't think he can do it. I think he's ran out of time. Joey Styres, back-to-back winner of the bracket playoffs. He wins Daytona last week. He wins Chicagoland tonight at the Brickyard. 220 goes to Team Orange again.
Absolutely. Just a great job by Joey
Wow.
right there. Like, what was it, 20 to go? I think it was 20 to go that he pitted. So about 6-7 laps before Lucas Lyons, the leader at the time. So it was the right call. So great job by him.
And
By the
Taylor
way, let me
Peacock
clarify.
too.
Peacock was in Team Yellow. The bracket and the graphics on the monitor on the scoring ticker look so close together. But Taylor Peacock was the leader of Team Yellow. Joey Styres is Team Orange. He wins 2 races in a row. Brady, I'm going to be honest with you, and I kind of hinted on it earlier when I talked about him winning the stage. I believe he won the first stage of the race. You know, you talk about carrying momentum. Just because you won Daytona, that just gets him fired up. He's riled up, and he's making everybody be in his path, be somebody they want to put in the rearview mirror, and that's exactly what Joey Styres done here again tonight.
Exactly, Wesley. But I can guarantee you, I know I'm happy. The other 23 of us are really happy that Joey won because it's not somebody in your bracket that won.
Right,
Yeah.
That
right,
automatically advanced. That's somebody that was under you going into tonight that, jumped over you and advanced to the next round. So there's a lot of happy people. I know Lucas is going to be bummed that he didn't get to win. And of course, all of us want to win, but worst case scenario did happen, and that was Joey winning again. So, I think everybody's going to come out of Chicago pretty happy going into Michigan.
We got post-race coming up, and we got to do it very quickly because I have another iRacing broadcast obligation at the top of the hour. But here's a look at the results. If you're watching it, scroll on your screen. Styres, Peacock, Lyons, Cinnamon, Cherry, Smith, Tribune, Bruce, Thomas, Harris, top 10. All of this really changed, I believe, Dean, when we saw these guys go down the pit lane for the late race pit stops, and obviously it shuffles. Brady, let everybody know before I let you go, sir, and we go to break, what the future of NASRA holds. I know a lot of people ask about Tuesday's league, the Cup Series. When is that coming back? I know you're working on an ARCA development program, and I say this jokingly, but it's the truth. Lately, I'm having NASRA withdrawals. I only get to work on Monday night, maybe Friday night. I'll be with you guys with Cops at Charlotte, but man, we're ready to get back to it full swing again every night of the week.
Yeah, we just needed a little break to kind of gather and regroup. I know everybody was kind of working their tail off beginning of the year, so we're taking our time a little bit, and we'll get Tuesdays back going, and plus Thursdays will be our ARCA series. So we'll get everything going here real soon. We just we need a little breather ourselves as admins. So.
And the Cup Series is, I know Justin's not doing that, but somebody else is going to handle the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm understanding that's coming back also on Wednesday, right?
Justin's going to renew, and Justin's going to come back for season 2. I think he's about 2 to 3 weeks away from that getting started back up.
Good deal. Good deal. Brady, always a privilege, pleasure, honor having you in the booth, boss man. I don't say that just because you write my check, but man, you know you're welcome in here anytime. Sorry for your bad luck, but thank you for continuing what you do for NASRA. I tell people this all the time. If you take it for granted, you don't need to, because I think probably NASRA is one of the best iRacing leagues still going, and it's been that way since 2020.
I appreciate that. But yeah, no, it was fun to come and hang out with y'all the rest of the way. Kind of bummed out about getting wrecked, and but we'll see you in Michigan for sure.
There you go. There's Brady LaBeouf. We're going to take a break, and Dean and myself will talk to Joey Stiers, Lucas Lyons, Taylor Peacock, the podium from Chicagoland. We chat with them next.
For Murph's Magical Creations, home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Back here at Chicagoland, and the Brickyard 220 is in the books. It is Joey Stiers who won Daytona. He wins at Chicagoland the following week, and this man for Chrome Racing is carrying the momentum of the number one guy of all of the drivers of the 6 brackets into the playoffs as we move into the final round in the round of 24 next Monday night at another track similar to this one, though 2 miles in length, Michigan. Joey Stiers joins us in Victory Lane. Joey, congratulations, man. Hey, what's it feeling like to carry this momentum you got going on for you, Luigi, from Mackinac, Illinois, the land of Lincoln? I mean, you won Daytona. That was sweet enough, but now to go back-to-back. But what a strategy, though. This one wasn't easy, was it, with everybody coming down pit road, pitting?
No, it wasn't at all. And to start the race there, I was on an alternate strategy from the rest of the field because I was having some internet issues, and I had to shut down my streaming stuff for you guys. So you guys probably couldn't even see me in a cockpit or anything. And I had to get up under that first couple cautions and turn off all my extra internet streaming stuff because I was about to lag out of the server. So I saved several sets of tires there when everybody first started pitting early, and that first stage, I think I finished 30-something, and then by the end of stage 2, somehow I drove it up to second and had a couple flips on some strategies and got up to second place and was just able to keep that track position the rest of the race. And the only chance I had at the end of the race was to try to flip the strategy a little bit and pit as soon as I could, and before Lucas at least, because he was just flat flying there on fresh tires. And I had nothing for him on the long run. So the only thing I could do was just flip the stage there and hopefully run out to a lead where he couldn't catch me, and it definitely paid off. Him and Taylor were both coming.
Well, I'll tell you what, Joey, look at your camera because you're on camera with everybody. Show everybody your man cave, right? I mean, I love your man cave that you got. Take us on a field trip in Joey's world.
So we got my bar over here. We got all my TVs I had to turn off tonight, but we got the command center, as you could say. We got another TV over here. We're just Colts everywhere. Or
I mean, have you got a football roster jersey of every Colts player on the lineup? I mean,
pretty
my
much.
goodness.
Pretty much, yeah. Collect them over the years.
I gotta tell the guy that's the radio voice of the Colts that I chat with on Twitter sometimes that you're probably met the diehard Colts fan of Colts fans, I believe.
I got to be the Colts man of the year. You got to get me into that.
I gotta tell him for sure, man. And by the way, hang in there. Less than 100 days away for football, so we love our football. We love our iRacing as well. So.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, listen. Let's go back to one more question, and please, thank your sponsors and all of that good stuff. Man, what do you think of this new format, this playoff bracket format?
Honestly, I'm not a fan of it at all. Just because I got two of my teammates in the same bracket as me, and this first round, I think we're going to be all right. But these next couple of rounds, it's just going to be me racing my teammates pretty much. And I feel like if we were on the other strategy, we all, or at least 3-4 of us, we probably could get into that championship 6. But with this new format, it's going to be real scarce with our team. So it's going to be survival of the fittest. And I don't know. Hopefully we'll keep this momentum going.
There you go. Well, I'm going to tell you what, man. I'm going to send this video clip to Matt Taylor, the voice of the Indianapolis Colts. Me and him chat on X a lot. So I got to tell him, hey, look, you got to look at this guy's man cave for sure. So maybe he'll say something to you or he'll tag it or whatever. But, man, before I let you go, Joey, please thank your sponsors. And are we going to try to see you go 3, Pete? You going to try to go 3 in a row? Or are you going to try to win Michigan next week?
I would love to win Michigan, but it's another one of those drafting tracks where you kind of got to have a lot of help. So I think, like you said earlier in the broadcast here, I got a target on my back now. So probably won't have too many people be working with me, but we'll see how it is. I've always liked Michigan and Chicagoland here. This is a home track for me, so I'm tickled pink to win this one. This one means so much more than Daytona, but anytime you can win at home, it really means a lot.
Yeah, because he is from Mackinac, Illinois, and Joliet, Illinois, the land of Lincoln for the driver of Joey Stiers. Joey, thank your sponsors, buddy. We'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, I want to thank DSR Electric, Dan Gobble, Jeff Sickles. If it wasn't for them, like I said last week, I wouldn't be in this league. I wouldn't be racing. They do so much to sponsor the league, sponsor our team, Chrome, Swim, all of our teammates. So big shout out to them guys. Millie's Restaurant and Catering, A's Lawn and Landscaping, The Family Handyman, Justin Lumpkin for painting all our trucks each and every week. He just put our playoff banners on our trucks this week, so appreciate that. Jack's Mowing and More, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Brady, and all you guys at Nazareth 360 for putting on the broadcast, because I'm definitely going back and watching this one. It was a special one. I also got to thank my wife and my stepson for letting me race on Monday nights, and my little baby girl coming August 1st, London. This second one is for you, baby girl. I can't believe it.
Notice that the wife and the kids are not around you, though. Do you go down to your man cave? Do you go to a different location? What do you do to get away from them?
I definitely got to isolate myself down here in the man cave.
He's got big deadbolts.
Joey Stiers, ladies and gentlemen. Do what, Dean?
He's got big deadbolts on the door, though, with like one of those little slits there that like they have in the I don't know what we used to call them, and then you knock on the door. Then what's the password to get into the man cave?
About the dungeon? The dungeon to get in the
We're going to have to set something like that up. I can't have any distractions while racing.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, boy. And tell the kids not to be playing Fortnite to mess up your internet anymore, right?
That's all he's doing in there. He's literally in the room next door. I know he's playing it, so I got to kick him off on Mondays.
Fortnite, Minecraft, one or the other. Joey Stiers, ladies and gentlemen, when it's said and done, Daytona winner, Chicagoland winner, even more special. 165 is now his 166th start of Nazareth. It is his 7th career win. 46 top 5 and 84th top 10 for the band of the number 23. Mackinac, Illinois native in the Toyota, winning back-to-back top man in the bracket of the playoffs, moving into Michigan next week. Let's grab man in second, and it is Taylor Peacock. Taylor, man, you were doing everything you could to run him down, and I said this, I think you could catch him, but were you saving? Was he saving? Maybe if you had another lap, you might have been able to catch him. Your takeover being second in this race tonight.
If I had one more lap, I think I had him. But the bad part about that is if there's a couple more laps, Lucas was going to catch us at that. So I wish I'd have pit one lap sooner than I did. I knew it was going to – I was waiting to see if it'd get strung out there and start thinking about short pitting. And I got it right, but I was just a lap or two off, and I think I could have got the win. But it's a great finish. It's third podium in a row, so that's good. Good momentum going in these playoffs, and keep on trucking.
Got to ask you, my friend, you're leading the yellow bracket in your bracket. What's your take of racing against Larson and Johnson and Trevue, and knowing that those are the guys you're going to have to race amongst everybody else you're competing against, but that's the ones that you really got to keep an eye on and beat, and obviously you're at the top of the board right now.
Yeah, I've gotten lucky to get I think I got the most points at Daytona, and good second place here. So I think I should be pretty set for. I ain't gotta have nothing to worry about for Michigan, but it's been good. It's a different format, something different. I like it so far. I think it's spice up the league a little bit. If we can always go back if Brady don't like it, but I don't mind it. But I'd like to thank Brady for putting Nazar on, all the stuff he puts up with, and day after day, and keeps it going good. I love racing, and thank you guys for all your commentating. I can't wait to go back and watch it. I watch every race. You guys do a hell of a job, and I love having you guys commentate Nazar. And my teammates, Steve and Andrew Cinnamon, good working with them guys. It was a good strategy race. That was fun. And looking forward to next week. Thank you, guys.
All right, Taylor, before you leave, you got to tell me, what is this Bodine's moonshine on the top of your truck on your hood?
I can't go too much into detail about that. But
Okay.
that's thanks to my good buddy Steven. Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Guy's definitely he's barefoot. He looks like he's definitely tipsy.
Oh yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you. That's Taylor Peacock, everybody. He'll finish in the second spot. And finally, let's grab the man that'll finish in third behind him. And that is the driver of Lucas Lyons. Lucas, stage 2 winner. It got crazy there at that last stage. Hell, second stage was crazy. And it got even more wilder at the finish. Your take of putting the Kentucky 53 in the number 3 spot tonight to close it out.
I just wish I put it a little bit sooner. I felt like I did the right thing with only taking right side tires at that final pit stop. I thought there was probably going to be one more caution after people came to pit road, but it didn't come. I'm glad we had green flag racing. It's just I blame myself for putting myself further back than I really should have been after that pit. But led 71 laps. I felt like this one kind of got away from me. It was definitely fun racing, but I feel like I could have had this one.
In other news, though, Lucas, you win stage number 2. You finish on the podium in the race, and you're at the top of your bracket, in the blue bracket amongst Thomas, Harris, and Blanchard. Your take of moving into Michigan for next week?
I'm just going to try to focus on getting the playoff points to try to get a little bit bigger buffer going into that next round. And the same thing I'm going to do in that next round is just try to focus on playoff points and good finishing positions to try to make it to the final 6. I feel like I have a good shot. I mean, I know Harris is fast, Thomas is fast, but I'm definitely going to have to work for it, and I feel like I might have to win to actually make it there. And it's definitely been a while since I've been to Victory Lane. I want to say the last time I was in Victory Lane was Atlanta. So I definitely have a lot of work to do.
Final question, and please segue this also to thank your sponsors. Did you feel that this bracket has really not only intensified the playoffs, but all the drivers that you're racing? I mean, there were many times that you and Thomas and Harris were all right there, neck and neck with one another. Peacock and Larson and his group of yellow were racing amongst their group. So was the orange group of Stiers and Maurer and Newton. What's your take of that? Do you feel like it's made it more of a bracket team competition amongst you drivers?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's the case. It's more like you have to focus on just what your group is doing rather than what other groups are doing. Yes,
does it make it easier?
No, not at all. It does kind of confuse you when you're in the driver's seat, but mean, if you can keep that middle note of, yeah, Thomas pitted on this lap, let me try to do something to cover him, or Harris pitted this lap, but I need to do something to cover him, instead of worrying about what Jerry, Hendrickson, LaBeouf, Caulfield, all of them are doing. It makes it hard when you're actually in the driver's seat, but I personally enjoy it. It's different, and yeah.
Well, buddy, before I do let you go, man, please thank your sponsors. Always appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, when it's said and done, Lucas Lyons, career start number 77 of NASRA tonight, will end up with 4 victories in total, 13 top 5s, and now 29 top 10s for the 53 from Kentucky.
I'd like to thank Top Tier, Honor Home Loans, Southeast Tutoring, SM Racing Products. Use code BANDITS1 at checkout and save a little bit. Caulfield Asphalt Refinishing, Caulfield Supply and Service, and you all for putting this on.
There you go. There's the thoughts again of the driver of Mr. Lucas Lyons. When it is said and done, he will finish in the number 3 position. We now get you ready for next Monday night in Michigan. And the final race to make it in from the round of 24 to the round of 18. Dean Hopton, always a pleasure. It's been a while since me and you done some color commentary together. Thanks to Brady LaBeouf for chopping in as well. But, man, your final take of tonight at Chicago, and one more race left in the opening round. Michigan, I think, will be a barn burner next Monday night, sir.
It should be there, Wesley. Always a pleasure to be in the booth with the legend himself there of motorsports and sports announcing as well, too, across the board. But I believe that the driver said it's an interesting format. It's going to be, give or take on what people like. But I think it's a little bit more easier for us to kind of break down individual battles that are happening in their groups from a spectator's kind of perspective as well, too. People tuning in, with everybody racing everybody, that's just an overall situation. But it also makes it a bit of a more chance for some drivers that perhaps if they're racing against everybody, just can't quite get themselves up into those higher places there to get enough points to get through to the next round when they break down those different brackets. Now they're just only got to focus literally on 3 drivers, because there's 4 in the group. So I think that also relies a bit more on a spotter as well, too. If you've got a mate or a friend or whatever, you could spot there. And that way the spotter can sit there and do those calculations to background for you and say, okay, in my group, if I'm Justin Lumpkin, okay, there's Lester, there's Buff, there's Cole. I know where they are. I know what they're doing. I'll tell you what they're doing, and I'll tell you what you help you need, what you need to do to try to maximize your points against them. And on top of it, one thing that this bracket doesn't show or represent is also how you help your teammates out, because their teammates are in different brackets. So what are they doing? How are they going to help their teammates out in their brackets as well? That's another whole different ball game. So there's a lot going on, and not to mention you've got to try to drive this car at 200 miles an hour and avoid wrecks and collisions. So it's tough, but then again, these are the best drivers in the world, and that's why we're here at the DSR Electric Truck Series.
And I'll say honestly, too, as well, Dean, that seeing the competition amongst the guys that are in their bracket, and like you said, you might be lucky if you got a teammate in your bracket, but for the most part, some of them don't. Some of them have competition, and for them to be able to hang with them, for them to be able to give them pressure, I think it's definitely going to be something that we're going to see come down to the wire for that final spot. And now put two locks on Joey Stires. He wins Daytona. He wins here tonight at Chicagoland. And I got a feeling, and as I said, momentum is continuing for the man out of Mackinac, Illinois. Just because he won Daytona don't mean he can't win tonight. I'd be damned if he didn't do it, like I said. And then I think he's going to carry this momentum to try to win at Michigan next week and try to go for a three-peat.
There you go. Absolutely. Wesley. And, of course, you have to be tuning in. Same time, same place, same network. But not to mention, we got more coming up this week.
Friday,
Friday, my friend.
Yes, sir. And I'll be in the booth with you guys. I don't know if Jacob Reeves will be back or not, but Morgan Cook, myself, you will be joining us on production as always. And we're in Charlotte for the NASRA Cops Truck Series. That'll be, of course, on Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be in the booth with you guys for that one. And next Monday night, Michigan, the trucks around the oval. And don't forget, coming up the road to the NASRA 1100, also around the corner. We kind of talked about it and put that up there one more time. Get signed up if you haven't done so. You do not have to be a NASRA member to qualify to sign up for this one. Qualifying fee, knockout qualifying, 33 starts for the NASRA Indy 500 and the NASRA Coke 600 with the 87 Cup cars. All of that coming up on Sunday. That's Sunday, June the 8th. For everybody at the North American Sim Racing Association, including Race Director TJ Moore, Cody Knott, Brady LaBeouf, thanks for him joining us in the booth. For Bigglesteen, Hopton, and Mischief, Mr. Redneck announcer Jacob Reeves, hopefully he'll be back with us next week. For all of our amazing crew, this is Wesley Outland congratulating Joey Stiers, back-to-back winner in the playoffs bracket challenge, round 2 from Chicagoland. He wins the Brickyard 220. We'll see you next week at Michigan.